Misery, misery, misery. That's what you are. I gave you Michael Penix, and you spat in my face. I gave you 2 first-round picks, and one is facing felonies. I have no idea what can I give you. And that to me sums up the Atlanta Falcons. I'm dying. Let's try that again. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing the NFL 2025 recap, and we're talking about them dirty birds in Atlanta. And I'm not talking about it as a compliment. I'm talking about what happened. I gave you everything. Julio Jones, Ronnie White, Michael Turner, Abraham, Beasley, Matt Ryan. What did you do? I mean, Atlanta just feels like the people that go to a restaurant and order food that sounds good but tastes awful. And when the waiter says, I wouldn't make that selection, they say, nah, we good. That is the Atlanta Falcons. Not just recently, but basically almost historically. But as for 2025, that sums up perfectly. Let's talk about the Falcons. There are times you root for a team, you're thinking they're finally going to get over the hump. Like people do when they watch college football, like with LSU and Michigan. You just feel like they're finally going to get over the hump. Or Miami, they're finally going to get over the hump. When it comes to the NFL, I feel like it's always the Cowboys, and it's either the Ravens or the Bills when it comes to playoff time. The Bengals already went to the Super Bowl, so they're already ahead of them. And then for us further in the southern region of the United States, it's Atlanta. I feel like out of all 4 teams in the NFC South, Atlanta is the one team that I feel like every single year they get like 60% of they're going to be good. And we have experts in $1,000 suits and ties with 20 years of experience basically getting their Super Bowl tickets saying Atlanta's going to be there. And I'm going to prove you right. And every single year, like a terrible investor, are wrong. And I have been drinking the Kool-Aid thinking they're going to be good. They're not Super Bowl winning good, but they're going to be competitive. This is a double-digit win team, and they're going to be a threat for the next 5+ years. And a lot of it's because I believe Robinson is going to carry this team by force if he has to get this team far. But now I am thinking Atlanta need to do what Carolina do and trade Bijan Robinson. Trade him. Get capital. Do it. Because all you're going to do is have another talented player on your roster that didn't do diddly squat. And I'm not a Falcon fan, but I lived in Atlanta for 10 years. And those Atlanta fans sound like the most like, what the hell? When it comes to the Hawks, the Braves, at one point the Thrashers, it's a hockey team, don't worry about it, no one cares about it anymore, and the Falcons. And every single year, They look so good on paper. They look so good. And then, don't know. I cannot even make a 28-3 joke right now because I think it's beyond that. This was a team that had Dion Sanders, prime time, and they really didn't do anything with him. He had to leave to find success. Dion's presence in Atlanta is so that his number's not even retired. Not saying you have to retire to show respect. I'm just saying that his presence was so impactful beyond the Falcons, but his number is not untouchable for the impact that he caused. Because maybe he did so little. Because the rest of the team couldn't do anything. I know it's about the Falcons, but I had you guys 11-6. I thought Michael Penix was going to show up. I thought Kyle Pitts was going to do something better than just be up the Bucks twice a year. I thought Bijan was going to blow up. The two rookie defensive players they got, I felt very promising about it. But if for some reason you guys happen to just fall apart hard, because also Michael Penix has not even played a full 17-game season, or 17 games, I think. I think he hasn't even played 17 games. And he has a losing record still. 6-11. The defensive rookies cannot do anything about it. The Falcons have more problems, and everyone else in the division just steals a win. Yep. And Atlanta with Atlanta. They'll fall apart. But you guys went 8-9. And even that 8-9 felt like... So how much of it was Kirk Cousins salvaging his career? Who, by the way, he just got freaking paid to be a Raider mentor. Seriously, MVP of the NFL is his agent. Kirk Cousins is making bank for being barely average. Eli had at least won 2 Super Bowls. But I think Kirk Cousins is still financially better off than Eli. And he never even went close to a Super Bowl. And the way he's going to the Raiders, unless Mendoza does something, I don't see him getting closer this year. But he's making enough bank to buy the Raiders. I'm not a Falcon fan. But living in Atlanta for 10 years, you get secondhand fandom. And I got secondhand fandom with Atlanta. Week 6 was your best game. Primetime slot against Buffalo. You guys tore up the Bills. Bijan ran all over them. Kind of showed a glaring weakness of the Bills' defense that other team managed to exploit. And you contained Cook, which exploited Buffalo Bills' lack of wide receiver core. So Atlanta, you literally gave out the playbook. And yeah, that was your best game. It was dominant. You put your foot in their throat, didn't let up. And what's so funny about that game is that Buffalo scratched and clawed, and it felt like, oh, look, he's struggling. Oh, look, he's trying. Buffalo's not going to win this. But I'm so glad you're trying. That's what it felt like in that game. And it wasn't a prime time game. This was a game, and it was week 6. It was week 6. But this was a matchup that even I was thinking, crap, Atlanta's going to be a threat. Crap, Atlanta's finding its groove. Oh, Atlanta figured it out. Oh, the rookies. Oh, they're going all in. And right now it looks like a winning hand. Oh, no. But good thing there's like 10 plus more games in the season. And you guys show your true colors. And I think when Michael Penix got hurt, which one, a lot of us, meaning those that are more involved in just a sidebar fandom, knew that Michael Penix did have, sadly, a very terrible injury history when he was in Indiana with multiple injuries that took him out for the season. That's how he got those extensions and eventually find his success at Washington. Rightfully so. But for every Frank Gore who had multiple injuries at Miami and still became, 6th all-time rushing and had a long career and was a Pro Bowler and maybe a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to go that far right now, but the numbers speak that his longevity beyond that, and to be that high on the all-time rushing list with the other great Hall of Famers that are before him and he passed, can't help but think there's a Michael Penix. And Falcon fan can blame Zach Robbins all they want. Don't worry, we at Tampa, we got him, so maybe we'll blame him, maybe we won't, we don't know, but we had no choices. So, yeah, when the injury bug happened and you spend so much money on Kirk Cousins, it felt like you just didn't. It felt like you guys didn't have faith, and that your both options end up being bad. Cousins gone, you got Tua, so you got two left-handed first-round pick quarterbacks. That's just funny. Good to know. But what is your identity? And that's why I'm really big on the Robinson potentially being a trade casualty, just like what the Panthers did with Christian McCaffrey. Do it. It might be the only way to save it, because Week 13 was your worst game. And all I gotta say is you lost to the Jets. And we can move on. I'll show the stats. If I just showed you the stats, you're probably thinking, how did the Falcons lose? And I'm like, funny story. I don't know. I don't know how you lost to the Jets. No idea how you lost to the Jets. That was one of those wins, or losses, I should say, that like the Bucks had, and some of the Saints got, and even the Panthers. Those are some losses that stub your toe, and who knows? Maybe you guys would have been in the playoffs. You guys would have won the division. Could that have saved the general managers and the head coach's job? Maybe. But you lost to the Jets. And quite frankly, stats out the window, you lost to the Jets. What do you want me to say? You lost to the Jets. That's your worst game. I don't care if it's 3-0 or 35-0. You lost to the Jets. In Week 13, when every game mattered in a sucky NFC South division, you needed every win. You lost to the Jets. That game probably cemented Raheem Morris's resignation. They're like, yeah, he's done. He's done. Unless he goes to the playoffs and win the division, he's done. So the Falcons, with all the money, all the draft picks, a lot of them very good choices on paper, have not worked. And now we're in a new general manager and a new head coach. Granted, Stan Guskey is a 2-time Coach of the Year winner. And we'll see how that works with Tua and Michael Penix's recovery, hopefully back, relatively, soon, but also not rough. We don't want an RG3 here. And then MVP. I'll have a draft for I'm trying to hold. MVP is Bijan Robinson. Honestly, if Bijan Robinson wasn't there, you guys are probably looking at a top 5 pick right now. And like I said, Bijan is so valuable that I am telling you, don't be like the Eagles and let him go. But I'm telling you, he has value. He has value. Honestly, I felt that if you would have traded him to the Chiefs would have gave you 2 firsts. You would have gotten the Chiefs' top 10 pick this year's draft and probably first round pick next year, regardless where it is. You would have had 2 firsts for Bijan. Sometimes, as quality as you want, quantity may be what you need. But then Tyler Algier is gone. So all I'm thinking is that you're going to wear down Bijan even more because he's a dynamic threat as a receiver and a runner. I mean, McCaffrey's doing fine, but every time he plays longer, the more I feel like he's just draining more and more years off his life playing this game. Playing the game, not like life, like he's about to die. I'm like life as in like, that's more energy he's exploring. So instead of maybe a 5 more year career, it goes down to a 3-year career down the line because he is burning out a lot faster to help his team. At least the Niners were competing in playoffs. Falcons, what are you doing? Grade is a D. And it's really D for disappointment. Not D for like, low productivity and failure. It's just a D for Kirk Cousins, gone. Michael Penix, injured. Tyler Algier, effective. Kyle Pitts only plays good against the Bucks twice a year. You got 2 first-round pick pathways that were going to be the new dynamic duo. And one of them is facing felonies! And that was the pick you trade with the Rams to go back in to get him from Tennessee. And a lot of teams, including the Bucks, were thinking his behavior off the field was a concern. His behavior off the field was a red flag. Now, I don't think they were talking about his behavior with what he did, or allegedly, legal way. I have no money to be sued. But to be honest with you, I would have never thought anywhere in the top 50 situations that James Pierce Jr. would be involved in this incident with basically an ex. You're a young man with talent. I guess I've never been in love that much to literally do what, let alone follow an ex. I mean, I don't have that money. I don't have that time. And apparently you had both. So when it comes to your draft picks, you have no first round picks. One of the few teams that don't have a first round pick. So basically, what can I really speculate? What do you really need? I don't know what you're going to do. Are you going to trade back in? With what? With what? And who are you going to replace? So right now, the NFL and you guys have not made a decision what to do with James Pierce, but I understand the NFL regulation rule is very cutthroat. I mean, it took Rashid Rice, 2 years before he faced punishment. So now what, Atlanta? This whole draft segment here I'm talking is going to be about, your decisions. You got Michael Penix after you pay Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is gone, and Michael Penix is injured again. You use 2 first-round picks to trade up with the Rams team, who then you did not even produce to be beyond 20th pick, which you expected to be, and of course you'll be in the playoffs. You'll be at least 20th. And one of the players you picked up, that was such a defensive Rookie of the Year candidate, made probably one of the most boneheaded and like, are you kidding me moments you could do under the legal system that's not murder. And now you have to deal with that. And the worst part is, the people that made those decisions are gone. The head coach and government are gone. So now they got to take care of this massive pile of undocumented paperwork and misfilings. They got to figure out how to fix this team. Well, everyone else in the division, including Tampa, as bad as they were, are thinking, well, at least we don't have that problem. Everyone else has their quarterback set, ready to go. They have played with them for at least 1 year, or at least been in the system last year consistently. Here you have Tua. You have no idea. And Tua is another quarterback with injury problems. Tua is one of those players that I'm more concerned because he gets even bum rushed. Concussion is like that, and the way he falls and the way his body freezes, it scares the hell out of me. What are you going to do, Atlanta? What are you going to do? And that's the Falcons. They need help. They need a lot of help. And I feel like just firing people is not going to do it. So moving down the NFC South, we're going to go home. Home for me. So I can yell at my team. Next time we'll be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the fan base that thinks somehow we were the Patriots. And we deserve to be in every category. When we should be thankful that we have 2 rings. And that we're not the worst team. We're mediocre. And sometimes that should be a good place to be. Ignore us. But we're there. And thank goodness the NFC South sucks. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.